live, 005. Okay. Okay, yes. So I'll start to get this together and hopefully nobody's gonna jump in, and I can edit a YouTube video to cut out of garbage. So. Okay, I will let them know. Okay. Yes, thank you. Oh. Okay, so I can just make this big. We'll leave it big. We're gonna leave it big. Sounds good to me. Good job. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
We are live. Oh, just.
Hello.
Look, my pen from last night.
Oh, and you're back and that's, yeah.
Did they move everyone around again? You can check your name tags, make sure you.
Almost made it up there. And I was on the.
Oh, they put you up here?
Yeah.
I would have kicked you off just for tonight.
Just for tonight.
Just for tonight. You can hold your thing in the audience if you want. Just hold it up.
I'm gonna wear it.
I'm gonna use it. I might need this.
PB Doyle, I guess, planning board Doyle.
Yeah, that's just new. That's just new code.
Oh, okay.
I don't even use the paper code. Do you have the app?
No. I didn't know there was an app.
Yeah. So there's just this app, eCode 360.
How do I?
I'll send it to you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
out.
Okay, that would be great.
And then it's just on your phone.
Yeah, no, I've been lugging this thing around, but
There you are. I'm like Kristen. Yeah.
I'm supposed to have a training session at some point.
I'm supposed to keep track. I took a few here and there. Yeah, when you get the emails, like from the Orange County Planning, like, they do online ones. Just do. Like if we ever have a month where we don't have anything on the agenda, I'll have Joe do something.
Yeah.
That's what he was supposed to do, like a couple times.
Yeah.
But I've done some of the virtual ones.
Yeah.
Oh, they're really good. Like I printed out some of the stuff.
Yeah, I should do that. I wish they would give me CLE credit for that too. Continuing legal education, that I could kill two one stone.
I wonder if you
Maybe
could
they
get it.
do.
Maybe if it's a specific. There's like lots of them to choose from. So,
Okay. I'll look into that the next time an email comes
Yeah.
through.
I don't know. Who's that? Gary? Okay.
Okay, so I'm down here on the end.
Oh, there's me, Gary, Kristen.
Um,
Wait, you can sit there.
Oh, Gary's the new.
Gary's running a few minutes late, so how do we want to deal with that?
What's a few minutes?
I
Did he
don't know, he
say?
just texted me, he said,
I don't even have his cell phone, I don't think.
I got it today
Oh.
from Gagliano.
Okay.
He said, running a few minutes behind from my work meeting, please let the members know of my
Well, it's not 7 yet, so.
I think he works in Walden,
Oh, super.
I think.
Here, Vish, I'll give you my cell phone number.
Okay.
You want to send me Gary's?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Or actually Maureen.
I have more reviews.
send you mine.
Yeah,
and
I'll
then-
do that.
Yeah,
Great.
and then.
I'm only gonna do it if you send me Gary's.
Yeah, I will certainly.
And then you could send me,
So, all right, let's do some trading.
I could send a draft, doesn't say draft, I send a resolution.
I got it.
Consideration.
oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Did you just send it today?
It's, yeah, I sent it.
Okay.
Around through 1 o'clock today.
So basically.
Okay.
we approve for the new plans, no variances. Jason's got questions and comments.
Yeah, he's okay with that.
Nope. We can't do that when Gary's not here.
Yeah. Let's text him.
Talk to him every morning. I've seen him every morning.
So, who's giving me, I got Kristen's number. Here's mine.
Oh, I could send you that too. That'd be great. I'll do it. Yeah. Hold on, we're good now.
I see, I like what you're wearing.
I'm trying to hang on to summer as long as.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Doug made me change.
Is
I
today
used
the
to love
last day?
winter when I was younger, but geez, it hurts.
Today's the 21st. Is today the first day of fall?
No, 2 more days.
Tomorrow.
You're over here, Vince. What am I sending you? I'm sending you Vince's number.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
Sure thing. I could just call him.
You wanna call him?
I'll just call him. Yeah, he's driving,
Probably
right?
driving.
Hey Gary, it's Maureen. Hey, it's Maureen Spalding from the planning board. I'm just looking for an ETA on you arriving at the meeting. Okay, okay, thanks. Okay, all right, thanks. Yep, okay, thank you, bye-bye. 10 minutes? No, Jason's not here yet, so, okay. Hmm? Do I have a quorum without Gary? Yeah, I
We're not
guess.
gonna make any decisions, are we?
We're not gonna make any decisions. I just don't wanna have to repeat. They're going outside. They're going outside anyway, so. This is what he sent anyway. It's sitting right here, so.
I think I got it.
Hmm?
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, it was like maybe just before 1.
These are the ZBA minutes.
So you didn't go down and pick up your packet then?
No,
No.
she left it here.
Yeah, yeah.
But in future, when there is a complicated process, I will be getting it on my own.
Well,
She doesn't wanna deliver anymore.
I know, but I'm gonna see about them bringing them here for us to pick up, because I picked mine up, but it wasn't a packet. It was just
Oh,
the plans without any of this stuff.
I kinda like going near the river.
Well, as long as it's set up.
Yeah.
But I just think it's probably harder for like you to get there because their hours are weird. I mean, you could probably get there on your way to work, but not on your way home.
Yeah, I think they're there pretty early,
They're there early, but they're not there late.
as long as they're there by 8. Yeah,
Okay, so you could probably pick it up on
Yeah.
your way.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I want
just
the
feel like
big
it's-
ones. I mean, you can't, I printed it out on an 8.5 by 11,
so
you
that's
can't
why
read
you
a
have to
thing.
pick it.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
should have a
exactly.
copy of the big one in there.
Please, beforehand.
Well, that I literally only got yesterday.
Mm.
So do you have the big one?
Yeah.
So they should have a date of the 27th on it.
But this does no good for me to look at this now, so.
No, but that's why I guess they have them ready for us. So, but like I said, I went down last week and there were no packets. They just handed me plans, and I was like, "Well, where's the rest of the packet?" But Megan wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we can start. So we have a quorum with just the three of us.
That's true.
Okay.
But this is one option is what?
It's already ready. We could just have a joint plan session. Depends on what you really want to talk about.
When we're coming down,
I need, because I have,
Do you need
the mics are, how do I cover the mic?
Just push the button.
Yes.
So in that case, why don't we just do it right now before Gary gets here?
No, he,
Okay, then we're gonna sit around and we're gonna talk. And oh, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys are ready, I guess we'll just get going. Yeah, we'll start the meeting. So, Gary should be here shortly, but I don't want to hold everybody up waiting for him. Good. So then I would like to call to order the September 20th Planning Board meeting. The new business on the agenda is 5661 Firth Street LLC at 275 Hudson Street. This is a continuation. So we'd like to start the meeting by having, I know that you were to the ZBA. It appears that all of your variances were granted. But we would like to have you go through your project since then and any amendments that you've made. And I see renderings there. I wonder, do you have copies of those renderings for the members of the planning board? Like small?
We have them posted now, we'll certainly provide you copies
Okay.
for you, we understand. My name is John Capello, by the way, I'm an attorney with Jacobitz and Lubitz. I'm here with Dean Galenis, the applicant and the project architect and engineer to present the plan. You are correct, we did, after the building inspector made his determination on the issues of zoning as it related to the use of the property and to the various setbacks and everything, he gave us directions of the variances that were needed. We went to the ZBA, and then the ZBA did grant the variances. I believe the findings of facts were provided to you. So we're back here, and we understand we still have Mr. Pitagaro's letter. There is a list of items that we do need to provide on the plan for the board, but said the zoning issues have been addressed now, and so we believe the only issues are the site plan issues, the plantings. There's a narrative you need to supply. I will introduce Paul, who can kind of go through the site plan. The ZBA did request some revisions to the architectural features to break up the building a little bit in order to make their determination. I believe as to the actual site layout, there were no major changes to the plan that was before you, so that's what we're really here now, is to talk the finals of the landscaping, the layout, and any particulars regarding that. So with that, all of you want to come up and present the plan.
My name's John Perkins, I'm the architect. Paul's the engineer. All right. So, since the last time we were here, we went to the zoning board and we had addressed a couple of issues along, one of the variances was for the step on the facade of the building to differentiate a little architectural features. Because of the distance off of the property line, we tried to give kind of a happy compromise to provide some type of a shadow line to the house or to the building, so that along this wall it wasn't one continuous surface. We had a jog that kind of cut and shifted this back in between one of the units, so it gave a little differentiation, a little architectural interest. Changed the roof.
So that's that section I'm looking at here, the new addition, and
Yes,
that
this-
last section jogs back in, okay.
Yeah, this is effectively that step back that we were just talking about, and notice the roof follows along with that. We have a gable that continues front to back there, hip roof along the back, the rear surface of the mudroom or storage area. At the front, you'll notice the gable has some architectural interest to it. We did some gable shingle accents at the front and shutters at the front windows, as well as the overhang to match at the front entry door with being number 1. So it kind of harkens back to the existing building. We also added some trim along the windows, as well as a architectural band to differentiate the floors from one another, to kind of break up the wall surface to give it a little bit more interest.
When did we move the door to the front of Hudson Street? I thought we moved all the entries to the inside of the parking.
No, so it's not on the front.
Okay, because it wasn't always going on the front.
That was like the early stages. That was like one.
Well, this is the last one we've seen. We haven't seen a rendering since this.
That was,
I know that we moved, like, after this conversation,
that was the very first one we presented to you,
yeah.
when they were on the side of the property line.
Right, and then in that meeting, we talked about flipping them inside.
And we flipped 2 of them inside and 1 to the front, because you just simply cannot put a third door on the back. It doesn't work. And we did present,
This was presented. to
we
the
did
board
present it this
because
way to you in there.
Part of the,
No, we don't have those drawings.
It was presented to you in a previous planning board meeting for certain.
part of the commentary from the board was benches and flagpoles and that type of stuff.
I think
along
that's the
with that.
ZBA
That's
maybe
not
did
us.
that. That wasn't us.
We had no meeting last month, right?
We didn't meet.
No, not last. This
And
was
we've-
a while ago.
We only had one meeting, right?
Right, on this
Yeah.
project.
We've had 2, but we never got these.
I don't think the renderings were prepared
No.
The
at
draw-
the planning board's last meeting. I think the floor plan was modified. and
Okay.
Showed the 2 doors to the back.
Okay, so we
area.
did see one, and I'm just not
We didn't
remembering.
see this.
We
because
never saw
is
this.
new. We saw that with the door in
Okay.
front, but it's not, I don't think it's as visible
Right.
on a floor plan as it is obviously on this.
It was definitely on the floor plans, whether or not the renderings were prepared in time. I
They
don't know.
definitely were not, so,
But the
okay.
The drawings we presented to you at the second board meeting definitely had the entrance off of Hudson Street for 1 unit.
Go ahead.
So that is the front elevation, that is the left side at the rear. This is the right inside. You'll notice that there are 2 entry doors between the 2 units. That first unit that we were just discussing is beyond the existing building here, so it would be almost an impossibility to put a door for that unit here.
I get you.
So on this side, we've got the storage breezeway at the corner, and again, architectural features that we added, roofs over the doorways, and window trim as well as some architectural bands at the cornice at the soffit, fascia, and as well as the band at the in-between floors, intermediate floors.
So you still have the two roof lines where you have a hip roof and then a valley, and then the roof goes up. So you have like multiple valleys in that where the two buildings meet instead of one continuous line.
It's a second valley. I'll show you on the elevations, the architectural elevations. When you look at the existing building is taller than what we're proposing. So it dies into this roof.
Okay, so that's why you're not continuing the roof line.
Correct.
Okay.
And the existing roof is a hip that kind of falls down. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
this is that
So now you have,
what they refer to as a roof cricket.
right.
So that continues across.
So you do have a straight roof and then the water's gonna come down this
roof,
way, that way, and that way?
the hip roof is represented here.
Right.
This is that gable. This gable is forward.
Forward.
This roof aligns with this roof here, so that pitch matches. The best way to describe it is this is that roof. We wanted to not go any further than the height of that ridge. So what we did is we created a roof cricket so that slopes down on either side, so that surface continues out.
Okay.
And that is that roof. Kind of the mirror image of the back. It's just the back of the roof cricket there.
So because of the elevation of the addition, you can't have a continuous roof line, is what you're telling me?
I don't think we want to raise it for the purpose of that. We're matching the pitch of the existing building. So in order to do that, the width that we're presented, the geometry dictates that's going to be the height.
Okay.
And on the right-hand side, again, that is the three-dimensional rendering of it. You've got the two doors and then breezeway storage area.
And you're doing flat roofs there instead of the pitched roof that you're doing on the,
Right, shed roofs. Yeah, just, it's less ornate.
Well, is that the breezeway storage area depicted in the
Yes.
bottom?
That
Okay.
is the breezeway, and these are the storage for the units.
and did I see somewhere that's where's the dumpster gonna go?
Dumpster, I believe. The dumpster is in the corner of right where your pen is.
It's now gonna be in between the two buildings?
We're gonna put it
If
on
you
there.
look at the one that has the plant schedule, it shows. So it's not gonna be over there by the fence.
There was in the corner, in the middle corner, opposite side
The lower rendering, I think, if you look, it would be underneath that stairwell there.
right next to it, actually.
So they're gonna walk out their door into a dumpster? It's appealing. I mean, it's just, well, I don't wanna see it where it is right now, it looks terrible, but that doesn't seem like I would want it outside my door either.
You prefer having it for one neighbor rather than a whole neighborhood?
No,
If we put it to the front.
Reduce the rent for that.
I believe it was moved there after you complained that it was in the front of the building. It was
Oh,
supposed
yeah,
to
I
be.
mean, we don't want it in the front of the building, and I
Right. So,
also
I mean,
don't like it
there's
where it is right now.
There's only so many
That's
places
all
we
you
can put it.
see, you know, from the street, when you look in now, all you see is the dumpster and garbage cans, so I'm just thinking about your tenants, they're gonna walk out into a
We're gonna have
dumpster.
it, we'll have it fenced in with privacy slats in there.
I'm not gonna see it from the road. So,
You can show a detail of how we'll handle it, you know, when we're.
I mean, I think you should
Before, yeah.
include that on something, like, what's it gonna be surrounded by?
Yeah, he's got a detail on the, site plan. 505 on
It's the last page of that, but you can totally look at it. So it's gonna be in there, right? So that's the old building, this is the new addition, it's gonna,
It's not visible.
yeah, we won't see it from the road, and it's gonna have a block, I guess decorative block around it, and then
That's the entrance where the truck will get it.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can't see it from the road, so a little weird if you're the person that walks out into it, but, that's not really my problem. Okay, yeah, thanks. Carry on, I didn't mean to, these are just, as they pop in my head, I ask them, so.
So the features that you're seeing tonight are being accented the building to improve the aesthetic appearance of it. There was some concern about the tradition of it and improving the appearance. We added the window trim to the bands. Obviously, we're gonna upgrade the siding, update the siding. Shingles will likely be updated as well. So we did a pretty good makeover.
Could I see that one up close? Sorry, it's
This
like, I don't have my glasses for that distance and.
So that's
Is that
the front
depicting
of the
a tree?
building, right?
Yeah,
True.
yeah. But they don't
So,
want you to be able to see the building.
just, maybe I'm confused, where are those 2 parking spots going? Because I thought they were gonna
On
be
the other
right
side
there.
of there.
Over on this side of the building,
So like, if we were,
Towards Ashcroft?
out of frame, over here, you would see, you're pretty much seeing this. This is like your cone of vision. There are 3 parking spots right here. If you would kind of imagine right about where these trees are.
here,
So these trees won't be there?
No, they are proposed there, if I'm not mistaken. We had some shrubs that were
so,
proposed.
right
I don't know
there,
what the landscape plan is.
oh, sorry. What is wrong with my phone? There we go. So they would be right there, and then I guess those shrubs would be there.
Okay.
Can you hold that up again? So are those shrubs in line with that shutter?
Probably
le-
a little closer to the center of the building.
So the center, okay, so that's, it's gonna go there, so it'll be part. And are there shrubs street side also?
On
So
the
is
other
that like an L of shrubs? So this row of shrubs you have there, is
Right.
that an L? Do I have shrubs running along the sidewalk too?
I don't know that that continues. It goes up to this spot. If you look at the floor sheet. They're gonna allow.
On Hudson, right?
If you showed them, you wouldn't see buildings.
Yes, there are, I have something there, I just don't know what that is.
Continue outward and across. So they are not shown.
So, 15 CK. What is that? So if you go to your plant schedule one, is that what you're looking at?
Yep.
So there's the 3 parking spots. Then there's that black, there's an arrow to it and it says 15 CK. What is 15 CK?
And then that's one of the things that the engineer pointed out in his memo, said, hey, the landscape architect, didn't specify what the CK was in the plan schedule, so he
Right.
has to do that.
Okay, but do you know what it is?
Hold on one sec.
Cause your rendering isn't the same as what, so like what you're showing us in this rendering,
As far as landscaping is concerned, that's correct.
okay. So that is not what we're gonna expect,
The building, yes, the landscape, no.
but that matters. I mean, cause that's, what am I seeing from the street?
Ron, what's CK on the landscape plan?
Yes, we could likely update it to represent the plants once we know what
Along
they
the
are.
parking. Yeah, you call it 15 CK, along between the sidewalk and the parking. Yes, on the list. It's next to the 13 IGs.
That's also not on the
Yeah,
list,
there's 13 IGs.
and the two QFs.
Inkberry is IGs, and what's the QFs? You want to snap a picture and send it to you?
Because the drawing, you know, shows that there's gonna be, you're not gonna be looking at it all. Well, depending on the height of these things, like, I don't know what these 13 IGs are. If they're tall, you won't be looking in. If they're short, you will be looking in, right? And the CK is the same. Like, if the CKs were like that, covering the parking spots, that's a lot different than
Yeah.
something not covering it.
I think it's gonna be a lower shrub because otherwise it would obstruct the sight distance from pulling out.
Okay, that makes sense too.
I'm not sure.
Just curious. Oh, and then on the plan, there's a fence proposed too for along street side.
Correct.
And that's a Trex material, like woven, is that what I read?
Vinyl fence. Yeah. All right, well, all right. And what's the, I'll go back.
Is there enough room there? Doesn't the fence need a setback from the sidewalk? Like, we can't put a fence right on the sidewalk.
Manny, what's the required setback for a fence from the sidewalk?
It's not mentioned on the sidewalk as long as it's inside the property line.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be,
Unless it's blocking the view for traffic, like at a corner, it's a corner property that it blocks the view, then yeah, then you don't have a setback. Other than that, as long as it's inside the property line. And meets the height requirement.
You're talking about a fence along the front?
yeah, there's a proposed fence all along the front there.
It's not on this, and this one has,
I think that might be a mislabeling. I think the fence is meant to be along the side property line. I think the
On the
call-out may be
first
incorrect, but
page.
I'm not 100% sure.
we've
So
got
this,
a
so this
chain
drawing's just labeled wrong?
I think there was a couple call-outs that got, like, leaders that got shifted when the drawing was shifted around.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but that's,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I'm
Where you
looking at
look at
it.
the
Well,
CK.
I have
proposed is down the
Just
property
jump
line.
in because
Me and my neighbor's property.
So along, the yeah, so a side fence, yeah.
What's that?
There's no fence in the front of the property.
I think what
No
we need
offense,
to-
so this is just, this drawing needs to be corrected?
I would just respectfully, we have a comment letter from your engineer and
Okay.
and your comments. We need to update this plan, present this plan to you, have the engineer explain the plan, go through it so you can understand it and we can move forward. I don't think really what the point we would like to accomplish tonight is get your initial comments, which are great. Hopefully, begin the seeker by having lead agency, knowing that, we would hope by your next deadline for your submission to the planning board to get something.
You would
in
have all
so
this
that the next meeting, we can address, Mr. Pittengaro's comments and move forward on this. And we also did want to confirm that we were at the ZBA, so the zoning issues have been addressed. So now it really is those details on the plan where the sewer connect, I saw the letter, so.
Okay,
Instead of trying to have everybody read the plan here.
That's
and
fine.
making calls that.
Well, that's fair, that makes sense.
To make it clear, I agree that it's not as clear as it could be, and we will fix that. I spoke to the engineer, and we're gonna actually partner up with him and iron everything out, so it's nice and concise for you guys to read.
I mean, I would, some of the, comments as far as like it being in business districts with architectural reviews, things that I was gonna ask about would be, because based on the first plans, this is much better, these renderings. You have the trim detail breaks up the siding, it's not just like a big box anymore.
And we'll submit 11 by 17 with, if that's what you want, or if you want them electronically, but we'll submit
Yeah.
renderings if they're updated to the board. You can have them before the meeting.
Yeah, I think we would all appreciate
Yes,
actual,
absolutely.
and if the landscaping plans could also be updated to really, like, meaning the rendering looks like what your plan looks like too, because it makes a big difference visually. I mean, we're obviously, we're not landscapers, so if you tell us it's a whatever, we don't know what that looks like. We wanna see what it looks like on drawing.
Sure.
And, I mean, what it looks like currently is not very good. So,
Landscaping,
the whole place right now, I mean,
not very good.
no, your drawing, that looks good. What's currently there does not look good. So,
It's very plain, I agree.
very. And like,
And to that point, if I could just give, when we redesigned it for the zoning board, I went around and just tried to get some pictures of the current neighborhood and get some of the roof lines and stuff like that and try to mimic that. And these are all within 300 yards of my building.
oh yeah, I mean, that thing's awful.
That's
You know.
not my building.
Huh?
That's not my building.
No, I know.
But I tried to get with the roof lines, this is right across the street, so we tried to mimic the peaks, and we tried to mimic the breakup of the siding with that line.
Yeah.
So we tried to be thoughtful when we redesigned the front, and we redesigned the front.
Yeah.
We got rid of that hip roof that we had, which just continued the boxy design. It was a poor original design, it was. So that's what we went around, this is my next door neighbors, actually, 2 houses right down the street. So we tried to recreate that with our roof line.
Yeah, I mean,
And the different use of siding materials. So we're just trying to keep with the neighborhood. We agreed that it could use some,
yeah, I mean,
some
these were the
upgrade,
kind
that's
of
what we
things
did.
I was looking at,
Right.
like either a change in direction of the siding where you're going up and down and,
and
or,
even the jog on the side really makes it much more appealing on the side. It gives it another dimension. to
yeah,
it.
or like the trim detail,
Right.
having, and that
And again,
definitely
we're gonna
helps.
now we're wrapping all the exterior windows with white. So now you have a white break up each window. We have shutters. We have cedar shake siding in the gable,
The existing building
white
that's,
molding on the side.
the existing building that's there currently, well, the siding is just like really dirty and old looking right now.
Because there's a huge maple tree in front.
Yeah, no, I get you, but, that building will be new siding.
I'm gonna, I don't wanna lie to you and say definitely. Probably, because that's the way I am. I just bought a house at 41 Willow, and I painted the whole house gray and redid the whole exterior, and had a 6-year-old roof on it that was red. And I took the roof off, because it didn't match the rest of the house.
Yeah.
But so,
Because to
probably
add
knowing
the-
me, I'm gonna reside the whole thing.
I mean, at least a power wash every couple of years would be great.
And I do power wash
To
it.
do, okay.
Yeah, it was done about, probably 2 years now. But I own a lot of properties in town, and I have a whole maintenance cycle that I go through. There's only so much you can do with a box, which is what it currently is.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
that's
this
why
is
I'm
gonna be
asking if you're gonna recite it, because you're gonna add the trim details to it, you're gonna wrap the
At
windows.
the very least, I probably can promise you that anything you see from the road will be resided.
Yeah.
So like, from here forward,
I think we would want at the very least,
me?
everything, I think we would want at the very least, everything you can see from the road would be, so it would be all matching siding. So if the windows are wrapped one way on the addition, the windows are wrapped the same way on the,
absolutely. If you see on the drawing, we did that.
right. And,
Windows are now, they aren't currently wrapped like this, but they will be.
because if you're gonna put new shutters on that new part, then you're gonna need to put,
There are currently no shutters on this part, I believe, are there?
no, there are.
On the original building.
There is, they're
Yeah.
faded this sector. Yeah,
Yeah, they're really faded.
It's
They're there.
$22 for a set of shutters.
Yeah, that's why I think from an economic standpoint, you're not gonna be able to wrap the windows with the band that you're demonstrating here unless you re-side the front anyway, so.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I have no problem at all with residing the whole front of this building. It's not gonna match anyway if I don't.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm going with it,
Right.
yeah.
That's not an unreasonable request, and I'm not saying no to that. I'm not agreeing to reside the entire interior courtyard if I don't need to. I'm gonna evaluate that when we go to build. Maybe we're gonna start removing this front siding and the other side's gonna break. You don't know.
Well, because you're gonna put corner pieces,
There's gonna be brand new wide white corner pieces on it. That was another thing we added. The white pieces helps
Right.
break up the shape of the building.
but they're gonna need to be on the corner that I can see from here. But now, when I'm walking towards the river on Hudson Street, I can see the side of that building too. So they're gonna need to be on the front corner, but they're also gonna need to be on the rear corner. So like that
You
side,
can put corner pieces on that. remove
I
those.
know, I'm just, what I'm saying is, all of what I can see from the street needs to look just as nice as the part that, if I'm standing on Hudson Street facing the building, or if I'm walking down Hudson Street towards the river.
Have you been in the interior courtyard of that property?
No.
$5,000 in landscaping every summer.
Yeah.
All flowers in the interior. I wanna keep my buildings attractive. If that's what is gonna look best, I'm gonna do it. You know, you mentioned twice now the growth on the side of the siding. That's a matter of the trees there, and I never wanted to trim that tree back because it was a pretty tree.
Yeah.
But my interior is very well landscaped.
No, I understand, but like what I'm worried about is what does this look like for the village perspective, right? So I'm on the street and I'm in the business districts and I can't do anything about some of those homes that you took pictures of because they're not here asking to make a change, but you want to make a change and the ZBA has granted you 1 million variances. So there's some specific things that we're going to ask you
And
for.
I'm open to anything that's gonna make it more attractive. It's in my
Yeah.
best interest.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay. Anyone?
I'm good.
Joe?
The one thing I'm curious about is just to complete the EAF mapper. I'm not personally aware of any buildings or sites that might be of, on a historic register or anything. I just want to clear that up. I'm 99% sure we're not in an ag district here, so. Well, I don't see any wetlands on the site, so when you make those tweaks to the mapper, because the idea would be just to do uncoordinated review, because I don't see any other interested agencies or involved agencies that we need some permits for. The only people we might need to reach out to is if those things come up on the mapper.
Sure. We can do that tomorrow. And we'll get into, I mean, we'll submit that quicker, because the other thing
Sure.
we may have to change, but that is something we can do quickly and just get in the record and we'll copy.
And, thinking further ahead, we might have some details. They could ultimately be conditions, because I know some trees are gonna come down. They may have to come down at certain times and not at other times.
Correct, yeah.
2 trees have to come down for this project.
The one in the,
trees are they?
One's a pine tree, and one's that maple tree in the front.
Those probably
But we're
aren't
replacing it with another.
species that,
Would need
those
to,
probably aren't species of concern.
because the maple is definitely not, that's like a invasive species at this
The pine
point.
tree isn't as well. It's a regular.
Yeah.
chunk of
The question is whether that's, I think that's what Bill was, I don't think either one of them.
No.
Jason, I don't have your thing in front of me right now, but is that tree part of 151.1? You said something about that.
I'm not sure, but I mentioned that as part of 151.1, according to a section of the code,
Supposedly, there's a tree committee and they've come up with this code that you can't really remove any trees.
let me see this section here.
Oh, right here, the following should be it's under site plan review number 6, the following should be added to note 19, all tree removal and landscaping should be in accordance with chapter 151 of the village code.
It's on page 3 of 4. So I don't know if that front maple falls in that or not.
I'm not 100% sure either, we're gonna have to check with them. But anything that has to do with those will have to be conditioned upon that.
We'll look at it, I cannot imagine any code restricting cutting of tree.
Oh, we got a big tree thing going on here.
Yeah, there's a whole,
And I've written them, but would be surprised if it will, as far as time, we will address it.
and then you will all take to note Jason's comments on like tree species, also recommendations.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a point by point
Okay.
response to this and demonstrate where on the map this is addressed.
I know that, you mentioned that there needs, a dumpster enclosure detail on that, on the plan, and I'm aware of that too. I would recommend that, maybe the applicant look at a different type of enclosure. A split face block enclosure here seems, more commercially oriented, and I think it's gonna be very costly. I think there's probably a solution that, may be more fitting with what was presented tonight. So if the board is okay with that, I think an alternative might be useful from both the applicant's point of view and from an aesthetic point of view too. Unless there's some concern about durability, but I think that can be accomplished.
What is it right now, split block?
Split face block.
Concrete block, yeah, I think you'd do better with chain link fence and we'll weave in the green, or maybe put some lines around it or something, make it fall of it.
Or
Yeah, that makes it more
a
attractive.
similar sided material, it's solid. I think a block enclosure like you're showing would need a full foundation with footings and stuff, and that seems very costly.
I think that's drawn on there, a concrete slab is drawn on there.
I think there's a concrete slab for the base of it, the
Mhm.
whole way to the dumpster.
Right.
Not necessarily, I wasn't sure there were walls on that.
It looks like that's what's in the drawing.
He's representing for
Yeah, so I don't think that that's probably the best design for this.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to you guys.
I think you do want it to be though, like aesthetically like pleasing because it is in the center of your courtyard and people are gonna be walking out.
If there's any in the village that, you know of that, you would say, hey,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's a nice one to copy.
I doubt
Kids
it.
who are walking by and
I doubt
admire a dumpster enclosure.
But I think whatever I build will be the example to be sent in the village.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that.
The building is very residential looking now.
I think we can do something with fencing. We have, right now, it's I don't know the term for it, but it's just it's a wood fence, stained wood fence enclosure, and that's attractive enough.
But I mean, well, it's gonna be in the courtyard and everything else is gonna be vinyl. If you're doing white trim, I mean, you could even do, I don't know, vinyl fencing around it. It would look nicer and cleaner than chain link with green woven through it.
But chain link's a little more durable, because
Uh,
the village GPW, are they gonna build me a new vinyl fence every
No,
time
probably
they take
not.
my dumpster? Because they will destroy it. It happens, bang it around, it's just the nature of how you pick up the garbage.
Well, so maybe keep the block there then.
How many parking spaces are along that, southern, or, sorry, I think it's the western side?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Are they existing currently? There's 10 there?
If you look at page 3 is the existing.
So Jason, you had said that they needed to do some work on the parking layout.
Yeah, I think there's some, probably improvements that could be made there. Talk to the applicant if it may be.
Paul call you.
Yeah, easier to meet or call.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm good with letting Jason and his team take the lead on what needs to be done with the parking here, because,
I have those 2 names, if you're interested, we'll put them on the next plan. The landscape architect email.
okay, no, I'd rather just see the whole thing updated correctly, and then the renderings reflect what's on the plan.
Okay.
Does anyone here have a code book?
I have the and online here.
Might it be possible to ask that someone read 151.1? I don't think it provides an easy out for an applicant.
151.1 is a permit is required for work on trees. No persons, firm, or corporation, or the officers or employees of a corporation shall, without written consent from the Board of Trustees of the Village on Cornwall, Hudson, remove, destroy, cut, break, or injure any tree, plant, or shrub, or portion thereof that is planted or growing in or near any public sidewalk, street, avenue, or public place, which would be that maple in the front.
Yes.
So you'll have to get approval from the Board of Trustees.
We'll read it, I will read it, and I would ask, is Mr. Murphy recused?
No, he should be recused, but we did, he's recused, but we should,
I'm speaking as a public citizen.
Is it a public hearing?
no, it's not. So, but we did bring up 151.1. We asked you to review
That's
it.
fine, but
I just read it to read it. So we can move on from there. We know that you're gonna go back and you're gonna review it because it was noted in the, so, I mean, at this point,
I don't have any further legal comments. These are engineering, landscaping. I don't have any further legal comments. As far as all the
Jason, do you have
variances, they've
anything
been
further?
granted.
No, I think we've asked them to update their renderings to reflect what's proposed. We discussed, having a conversation or meeting to go through some of the issues regarding the parking and the layout.
I mean, anything that's in the engineering comments, you'll have to review.
Yeah, is it okay to have our engineer contact?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, directly to deal with them. And then, any next steps that have to be taken along those lines, we'll bring up at the next meeting. I think it's okay for us to go ahead, though, and declare lead agency, right?
I have no objection.
Does anyone else on the board? Okay. So I'm gonna just, I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just use your resolution that you put together here. So, so this is a resolution of the Planning Board of the Village of Cornwall and Hudson to designate lead agency on an application submitted by 5961 First Street LLC for site plan approval. Do I need to read the whole thing?
Well, I wrote the whole
Okay, I'm gonna
thing.
read the whole thing. Whereas the Planning Board of the Village of Cornwall and Hudson has received an application from 5961 First Street LLC for site plan approval for the property situated at section 107, block 1, lot 3 in the Village of Cornwall and Hudson. Said lot also being known as 275 Hudson Street. And whereas the applicant has filed and the Planning Board has reviewed a site plan approval application and short environmental assessment form for the project, and whereas the application has been referred to the Orange County Department of Planning in accordance with General Municipal Law 239M, and whereas the Orange County Planning Department determined this was a matter for local determination and offered no comments or suggestions. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved pursuant and in accordance with the provisions of section 617.6 of the regulations implementing the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, the Planning Board determines that the proposal is an action subject to SECRA, and is further resolved that pursuant to SECRA Regulation 617, the Planning Board hereby preliminary classifies the aforementioned proposed action as an unlisted action, and it is further resolved that the Planning Board hereby determines that the action is not subject to review and approval by other involved agencies. And it is further resolved that the Planning Board does hereby designate itself as the lead agency for the action and will conduct uncoordinated review. And if we could
Have a
go ahead and.
second? A second?
Second?
Then discussion.
Any
Anybody
dis-
has any questions on it?
Anyone have any questions? No. So then, can we vote?
Vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. That's 4 ayes, Robin. All right,
Joe, we all sign this, or how does it work?
No,
We'll just take
Robin will
one?
just fill in the voting grid. It'll just show.
Yeah.
It's just a preliminary
She'll
resolution.
put it in there, I'll sign
Important
it.
one, but just a preliminary resolution.
okay,
Thank you very much.
okay. The only, we did not motion to adjourn, but the only last thing I would say is, not to put a rush on anything, but the sooner you get the things back and forth with the engineer, the sooner you get comments, and if there are adjustments that need to be made, you know. So, that way,
Thanks for that.
okay. Thank you.
Right. Jason,
We have minutes to approve.
I still,
Okay. Let's approve the minutes and then
Yeah.
go ahead and say them.
Yeah.
Then the last thing on the agenda is just to review and approve the minutes from the Tuesday, July 19th meeting. I'm not sure, did everyone get a chance to look at them, or you wanna just take a minute now to go ahead?
Yeah, I don't think I got them, or I didn't
I don't.
open them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, they came through like a day ago, right?
Oh, okay.
At least the July 19th minutes?
Yeah. Lee, did you get a copy? Do you wanna look? Because at this point, you can be part of this, obviously. Here, do you have, here, I have an extra copy, so,
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah, July 19th.
Well, July 19th was a long time ago.
Well, if anybody feels like
Yeah.
rushed, it's okay. We
No.
can always approve them at the next meeting.
No, I'm saying it's, I don't have any more specific recollection.
July 19th was a long time ago. They looked fine to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we made one, there was one
When we had the
question.
two buildings and we kept on
Yeah.
going back and forth.
Yeah, and so like,
That was
if,
a fun one.
yeah, so if you read that one section, we determined that they could count it as the informal presentation, and so.
And they were supposed to come back, yeah.
Okay, well then, would someone like to motion to approve?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, Kristen moves to approve the minutes. And Gary seconds, all in favor?
aye.
Aye, Lee, you good too? All in favor. You can vote on that. That,
On the
you get to
minutes,
vote on the
yeah.
minutes.
Well, I'd like to vote again.
You can only vote on the minutes today.
I may have missed it, so what are they gonna do with the parking that they wanted to do up front with
I
the
think
little
it's-
grass pit?
I think it's still gonna end up going there, but
Next meeting, he'll have a drawing.
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it. There were some things with the parking that Jason had commented
Got
on
it,
in his
okay.
comments, so Jason and his team are gonna just go through it on
Okay.
what actually needs to happen. But, do you want me to call for it? What do you wanna
Yeah,
do?
I
Okay.
want us to talk.
Joe? At this point, regarding the last, the First Street application, we wanted to go into executive session,
It would be attorney-client. session.
It'll be
attorney-client,
attorney-client,
I don't know,
yes.
attorney-client session.
And you
Okay,
can do that, you have two choices. You can close the meeting, you can meet with your attorney anytime. So
okay.
you can close the meeting and then just announce we're going into an attorney-client session.
Okay.
We're not gonna take any action.
So then let's go ahead and, I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And then you can turn the microphones.
Yeah.
Well, I think when she shuts it off, it's off. She not leave like a packet? There's usually
Pardon me?
No, there's usually like a packet here that then I leave here, but she did not